back in just a moment. See you guys very soon. We'll be back in just a moment. See you guys very soon. Rapid isn't here today, unfortunately, and my cat is on my bed, as you can see. So it's kind of a duo cast. She is just supporting me from behind back there. But either way, we're going to head on to our third game of today's STPL, the third game of the first series, and it should be a pretty cool one. The two players we have are very, very good, and looking forward to seeing how both of them are going to do. Let's not waste any more time, let's introduce them. And I say that, and I'm not ready. Here we go, now I am. Let's go over. Okay, so for SouL, we have currently on match point, it's going to be nOOB. Now, nOOB, more of a standout player from round 2, did join SouL at the very end of round 1. They, of course, didn't make it into the playoffs. So he didn't get any play at the very end of round 1, but here he is in round 2, and he is doing a great job. He's 4-0, 2 against 0 against Terran, and he is one of SouL's current stronger players. And it should be very cool to see how he's going to do. But his opponent very almost nearly beat DeWalt. It's going to be HitEmUp. Now HitEmUp, a very, very strong Terran player. A little bit of a surprise going into aSh's roster. He is currently 1-for-1 in the STPL. He didn't play in round 1. But he's been here for round 2, done a good job for aSh. Appeared for both of his games, played well in both of them. And this is going to be his third game, and it's going to be up for him to win here. If he can win, and his teammate can win the next game, we could still go to the ace match. But let's see how it's going to go as we move on to the map they're going to be playing on, which is going to be Return of the King. Now, Return of the King, a very, very cool map from the 2008 Incra OSL. 4 corners, 4 mineral-only island bases in the corners as well, and gas thirds, which are down a little bit of a weird, short, windy path. This is a fairly good map for Terran. We did see Fantasy beat Stork here in the grand finals of that OSL. Very easy to push that natural, very good for early pushes, and you do have that high ground pod in the middle to really help you push late game. But let's see if we're going to make it to late game as we head on to our third game of the series. It's going to be on Return of the King, SouL's nOOB versus aSh's HitEmUp. Whoops. I've completely forgotten. I think it's all F. There we go. I wanted to turn off the, I've only done it like over 200 times now, guys, but I forgot how to turn off the thing. But starting us off here in the top right hand position, we do have the orange Protoss fighting for SouL. It's going to be nOOB. And his opponent down here fighting for aSh in the red is going to be HitEmUp, our Terran. Now, as I said, HitEmUp had a very interesting game against DeWalt when aSh were facing off against IRK. He very nearly won, if I remember correctly. I'm even remembering my games wrong, but either way, should be kind of interesting to see how he's going to do here on Return of the King. I actually believe he played on this map last time as well, and he did go for this exact same wall, so HitEmUp obviously well versed in this map, has been practicing it a lot for the STPL. Now, of course, we are on the final week of the group stages of the round 2 of the STPL, but there is still a lot more content to come. The round 2 playoffs are going to be next Sunday is when they're going to be played, so that cast will be the week after. But next week there's going to be some more STPL content as well. I decided to set up an STPL round 3 map test show match series. So there's going to be 3 games next week, 3 games the week after, and if they go well, possibly another 3 games after that, to bridge the gap between the playoff games and everything, to bring some more content, and to really show off the new map pool for the STPL, because the STPL map pool changes every single round. Round 1 we had Judgment Day, Neo Moonglaive. You know what, I can't even remember the round 1 map pool, it's been so long. Okay, well, we had a lot of good maps in round 1. We got a lot of good maps here in round 2. And just to name the round 3 maps, I'm sure I can remember this off the top of my head. And if I can't, I'm going to look like a fool. But it's going to be Icarus, Katrina, SE, Neo Ground Zero, Colosseum 2, Athena 2, Plasma, Benzene, and Sin Peaks of Beidou. They're going to be your round 3 maps, so you'll be seeing a lot of those over the coming months. There's going to be 7 or 8 weeks again of group stages, as well as the playoffs, and of course you've got the show match series coming up as well. And now the round 3 groups have not been decided yet, but we do have 3 new teams joining the midst. We have VT, Valhalla, MSJ, I'm not even sure what their name is, I don't want to even try and read it. And who is the other team? It is Brood War Life, started up by Kingdom from Naz. So a lot of new teams joining the fray, a lot of the older ones still sticking by. We're actually, if nobody leaves, I'm not too sure about 2 of the teams, Bull and aSh. Unfortunately, they may pull out at the end of round 2. I'm not too sure. I need to confirm with them before round 3. I've not actually heard anything from Bull at all in about 2 weeks, so I'm kind of following up with them. If you are watching and you're a member of Bull, please get Dio or Skoga to contact me to tell me what the hell is going on. But HitEmUp did a fairly good job against DeWalt. His other game, I believe, was a TBT. I think he actually... you know what, I can't actually remember. I've casted so many games that it's really hard to remember individual games. And this is one of the things that I learned when I was speaking to one of the other casters that I know. They cast more like other games professionally, and they said a lot of time people ask them about certain games and whatnot, and they just can't remember them. Now, obviously, my database does a lot of the remembering for me. I do have a Java database that does absolutely everything. Now, we are going to have a 2-fact coming in here for HitEmUp. This is exactly what he did against DeWalt. And is it going to work here against nOOB? Now, DeWalt did manage to hold it off. I believe that was his loss. But we are going to have a 1-gate expand coming in from nOOB. And 2-fact, if it's going to be good against a single build, it's going to be this one. So are we going to see a very quick win here? A little bit of a comeback in the series here by HitEmUp. nOOB, of course, a very strong Protoss player. But HitEmUp, a very strong Terran player as well. His macro is doing very well, even if he does specialize in 2-fact against Protoss. You know what? It's a team league. Players like that have a place, and he is going to show if he can make that place work here as he does push forward. Now, of course, the Dragoons are on the high ground. Going to make it a little bit harder for these Marines to push up, but it's going to be a Joyo rush coming in from HitEmUp. One of the tanks, unfortunately, not in the control group. And all of the meat has been cleared. All of the vegetables even have been cleared away from the meat that is the tanks. But here is the next set of vegetables. We have another couple of vultures coming in. A little bit of a miss rally. There's no speed on them just yet. But here we go. It looks like he wanted to try and pull nOOB's units away. Doesn't quite manage to do it. There are mines ready. They are going to be able to move behind the Protoss forces and aim to put down some mines. That's actually going to be a strong mine position there. We do have the rest of HitEmUp's units getting split up a little bit. A little bit of miss micro, but there we go. More and more mines being laid down. And this Vulture, without mines, not going to be able to do too much. But all of the units by nOOB have been pulled back. And this is exactly what HitEmUp needed. He needed this high ground. And this is going to make it very, very difficult for nOOB to break back up. Now he's going to add a pylon there to eat some of the shots of the tanks. Just making sure of everything that's going on. But here we go. There's going to be a lot of mines going down next to the Dragoons. How is this going to go? A nice target firing on the tanks, taking down a lot of the Dragoons right now. Oh, a nice mine going for a mine drag. Doesn't quite manage it. Needs to pull this tank away, though. And with two tanks nearly going down, it's going to be up to the reinforcing Vultures here to try and really close it out. Now, there is no siege mode just yet. It's about to finish. But of course, even with siege mode, it's going to be a little bit harder to hold on now. We do have an observer out. Perfect timing by nOOB, and it looks like he is going to try and push his way up. There's going to be no scan to take out the observer, and it is going to be pure tanks against Dragoons. That's not going to be a fight that HitEmUp's going to win. And unfortunately, it looks like the all-in for him has been quelled. And it looks like SouL could be going to a very quick victory here. Now, of course, it's not over for HitEmUp. He is going to be incredibly far behind. He's actually 30 supply behind at the moment. And it's very likely he could actually die to a counterattack. But he is going to be building double tanks when and if he can afford them. He is adding his second command center on. And he does have these vultures that can try and move in and do a little bit of counter damage. But he is going to be running directly into the army of nOOB. And that's going to be very unfortunate. That's a loss that he didn't really want to be taking. The good news is he did use all of his mines, so didn't waste any of those. But this is the big counterattack that HitEmUp needs to worry about. The mines are only going to buy him time. This tank is incredibly far forward. We're going to see a wall coming up here. This is going to help him hold on, at least for the time being. But this observer is going to show absolutely everything. And this is going to be the moment that nOOB is going to try and move in. Gets a nice line up against all of those. He's going to try and push in on the tank. He is on top of the command center as well. But nice shots by this tank so far. Going to try and pull back. But the siege tank splash is going to kill that. Will need to try and take down the Zealot. But the trouble is, look at this command center. It's going to go down so quickly. We see the SCVs have been pulled. Is he going to be able to finish the command center? No. The command center is going to fall down. And with it, so are HitEmUp's chances of coming back in this game. But still, he's going to be building double tanks still. He can only actually afford one tank right now, just off of the one gas. Very hard to get two tanks. And there we go, he's even repairing his buildings. And it looks like for now, he's going to try and quell this attack. But this was just wave 1. You can just see the amount of units back here. A Forge coming in as well. nOOB is up to 4 gateways. He has a robo facility with a shuttle. Stargate coming up. Double Stargate, actually. And he is going to take the mineral-only base. And there is absolutely nothing that HitEmUp is going to be able to do about this. This is going to be likely 2 gate carriers. But of course, we could see scouts if he does want to style on his opponent. But of course, we've seen in the STPL, sometimes styling can cause a lot of problems. And this is HitEmUp's answer. He's going to try and hide a third base. When you're behind, you have 2 options. You go all in, or you play incredibly greedy. You try something sneaky. And that is what he's doing. He is going to bank on the fact he feels that nOOB is not going to scout for this base. Now, nOOB, of course, a very strong Protoss player. But is it going to work now? Is this going to be a fleet beacon? Yes, it is. And we are going to have carriers. It's going to take about another 4 minutes or so. And Herbie, I've already actually told everyone that. But yeah, unfortunately, You missed your second game. Oh man, I feel really bad for you, but you know what? You didn't turn up for your game, so you've not really got a choice. But look at the probe split by nOOB, doing a really good job splitting that. But of course, it is only a 5 mineral base, so not that big. And we should see HitEmUp really going for a starport. We still only see the 2 factories. And this is going to be where he's going to struggle. He's up against 6 gateways now, and that's a lot of production. Now, of course, if this base does go unscouted, he is going to have a base advantage over his opponent. But seriously, this is a strong position for nOOB to be in. And you can see we're actually going to have zealots being ferried around the base. We actually have a lot of units back here by HitEmUp trying to defend against this. But that tank is going to go down 100%. There is absolutely nothing that we can see HitEmUp doing about that. And he is actually going to be able to drop on top of the SCVs as well. And now nOOB doesn't look like he wants to end the game just yet. He is going to take a third base. He's going to wait for his carriers to end it. But still, he is in such an incredible position. It's almost... in this kind of position, it's nearly harder to actually lose the game than win it. Like, nOOB is so far ahead, but HitEmUp is valiant. He is going to try and stay in as long as he humanly can. Gonna see if he can make that side base really work. The trouble is, though, he's got no scanners. He does not know that there's carriers coming. He's got no upgrades. He's been forced to build SCVs as long as possible in order to not only get as many tanks as possible to save the gas, but also get as many SCVs. And this is really going to harm him. He's not going to find out about the carriers until they've spawned. And that is far too late. Carriers are like a timer for Terran. And the more carriers there are, the harder it takes to beat them. SouL is going to go 3 Stargate carriers plus 1 attack. Interceptor upgrade is done. 5, 6, 7, 8 gateways now off of these 3 bases. And GG by HitEmUp. He actually scans... I'm going to go back just a slight bit. I want to see where he scanned. I think he scanned the carriers. Let's actually have a look at what he does. I bet he scans the carriers and leaves, because he knows there's nothing he can do. Okay, this is a little bit... the game went on a little bit later than I thought it did. But let's have a look. I just want to see when this scan come in. There we go. He saw the carriers. That was it. He knew he couldn't come back from that. And that was GG. Okay, so of course that was the 3rd game of the series. That does put aSh at a 3-0 victory. SouL at a 3-0 victory even. But if there is a game played on the STPL, I will cast it as long as it counts. And every game does count. We're going to head in to our 4th game of the series. This should be a pretty good one. Currently one of the best Terran players there are. One of the more old school Protoss players. So it's going to be another TVP. But let's head on over to the intro once again. And let's get started with our next game when we get back. See you guys.